our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really.
Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
You mean shenanigans? No! You're talking about shenanigans, right?
Maybe. Do you want to do that? Is there like a preference? Do you like Asian asshole, African American asshole, Eskimo assholes?
I've never tried any of those three.
I know, I've always stuck into like my white people too. You know what I mean? I've never gone to anything beyond that. Like there's like a border with a wall. I never cross over
I've had
it.
Mexican.
You've had Mexican? I've never had Mexican.
Wow.
Carne asada.
Well, I guess the only thing left for me to say is
Welcome
to
Punk ass.
and Random Heroes Cheeky Shenanigans.
It's Shenanigans Day.
I am Jesse, aka Random Hero.
And I am Nick, aka Punk ass.
And
Because that's my name. That's my fucking name. You gotta let me say it.
Why were you looking me so
Because that's
intently
my
in the
name.
eyes? Okay,
there
I
we
get
go.
it.
All right.
And we tried to have on some guests that we wanted, and instead none of them showed up. So Aaron was at my front door, and I was like, "Hey, let's do a show."
Yeah, I had I had my first guest finally to come on, but he ditched me today because he had some medical issue. I think I don't know. I think his herpes
It was flaring up.
it was flaring up or something.
Yeah, that'll do
you
it.
know. Yeah,
That
so,
will happen.
And now you're stuck with me.
Yeah.
Again.
No,
Yeah.
it's good to have you back. Not with 3 other additional assholes.
Yeah,
or 2
technically,
other
this is the
additional ones.
first time back on a video camera by yourself
Well, there was that one time.
with no video camera.
No. There was the one time by myself with the video camera.
And where is that video?
Somewhere on the internet, I'm sure.
You porn.
Yeah.
Pornhub.
Yeah.
You know, we should totally put these episodes on Pornhub too, because I feel like we
Oh, yeah, you
get
should.
good reactions.
Wouldn't it be funny if the internet just put so much non-porn on Pornhub that it basically became YouTube?
Like it imploded.
Yeah. It's just like the edgier YouTube where you can actually see some fucking, but then like there's also normal videos. Like that guy who always puts the videos where it's like he fixes this woman's pipes and doesn't have sex with her or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this guy who's totally respectful to everybody in porn setups. Like,
Isn't there actually like a podcast on Pornhub that
I don't know. Is there
I think somebody posts videos on Pornhub, but it's not porn. It's like his podcast.
Porn Pod?
Porn.
You guys should totally do that.
Porn pod. I always wanted to do
Porn pod.
Netflix, like Netflix, but Netflix.
Netflix?
Yeah, Netflix.
See, the way the logo's designed,
Clever.
when I used to work there, it is the L and the I in the word flicks are so close to being a U. Like if you just Sharpie a
be
little bit
Netfucks.
there, it becomes Netfucks. Yeah.
That works.
And all the employees, we had a lot of fun with that one.
And each other.
Have you ever boned
Yes.
an employee,
An employee of what?
just of your job?
Yeah.
You have. Now, did it make it awkward afterwards?
Depends on the situation.
Did you guys like stop talking?
There's been a few of those, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There's been some that we're still friends afterwards and all that.
Wait. I don't. No.
What?
I don't know.
Nobody you fucked remains friends with you.
Well, that's true, but I'm
That
certainly
is
not going to
true.
call them out because I don't want to put the kind of shame that goes along with having let me have sex with someone out there on the internet for anybody. Like,
Yeah.
Well, why is this shame?
I assume so. Look at me.
Well, why is it shame? It shouldn't be shameful, right? It should be like a nice, loving experience with you, right? Because you're probably nice and cuddly afterwards.
He is.
Yeah, see? Like last night with you two.
sometimes
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes
we
more
cuddled.
so than the girl, to be honest.
Yeah. Like, do you like try to like put like your
No.
whole arms over
No,
them like
and
this?
No, you just do the one arm over so you still get to, you're just like hanging out on second base for the rest of the night. And yeah, but, I mean, sometimes even that's a little much. And they're like, no, I want to go sleep in the corner and kick you off the bed and hog all the blankets or whatever it was.
Hog all the blankets. You
Yeah.
know, I went to my parents' house this morning and helped
Is
my
this going?
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a
the
great
segue on
segue.
this.
helped my dad change spark plugs
Okay,
out of
that's
the
already
van.
taking a turn from where I thought it
And
was going.
my mom like talked to me about like the show a little bit, and she's like, you say racist stuff. I was like, yes,
You were
Mom.
like, no, me?
I was like, yeah,
That
mom,
asshole Jesse.
but I'm jokingly. She's like, yeah, but some people might take offense. I'm like, well, then don't watch it. I just thought it was funny.
I just think it's funny that your mom has seen it in the first place.
Yeah.
She tries to watch all the episodes, but then when
Wow.
we start talking dirty like dicks and cocks, she turns it off.
Well, then
You
so
might as well
she-
turn it off right now.
Yeah, she's already missed this entire part
I
of
know,
the episode
I know.
then. Which is
Well,
probably
shit, It
good.
started off with talking about assholes, so.
Yeah.
Popping each other's assholes.
And I mean, did you guys know I had started the video right then when you started doing that?
I
Or-
kind of already
I
knew.
kinda
had
had an idea, just because I know how you guys operate.
Yeah.
how we operate.
I mean, usually once we're all mostly ready, I just wait until a strange moment to like click real quick, so that the intro is always something just random, you know?
Yeah. And
So
it's been
clever.
2
Nobody's
weeks.
ever done that in
Fuck
history.
you.
It's been 2 weeks since we've done this.
Yeah.
So now I got to get back in the groove. Cause,
And
You got to get back in your racist groove.
yeah, I do. Because,
I'm sure it's difficult.
these fucking...
he's been letting shit slide for 2 weeks.
I
and
know.
he has to be indignant and racist about it again.
I was going to ask you guys, right? Domestic violence is not a good thing, ever. Unless...
No shit.
There's always...
There's no unless.
There's sometimes there's a loophole, okay? If she beats
Wait, are you talking about legally wrong or morally wrong?
Like
because
morally.
morals don't really have loopholes in them.
There's probably some legally loopholes. Like if she kicks your ass, you have a
Legally
chance.
loopholes.
So let's just say a random chick just goes and punches you in the junk. Is it okay for you to punch her in the junk right back? Does that even out the domestic
If
violence
it's a
part?
random chick, then it's not domestic violence.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just...
Then it's assault, and I think that you have a strong case there. If it's like
Yeah,
your
yeah, I
girlfriend
think
and she
so.
does it, you still don't get to do it back.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, number one, they don't have the same kind of junk.
Yeah, they don't, but there's probably some weird technique you can use.
Like a towel flip
Like-
right on the man in the boat.
Yeah.
Like, is there a spot where you can hit a chick? Not that I would, and it felt the same to them as getting punched in the balls like
maybe
to
it's
us.
Like a snatch strike.
Yeah. How does
Like
it?
a-
How
like-
does it work?
Like, I don't know, right? So, like, here's the muff, okay? The muff's underneath.
Oh, that's where it is. I've
So
been doing it wrong this whole
you're
time.
cupping it, right?
Never done that.
And what if you just like take your foot and like bam right there? Does that feel?
Why
the
would you
same?
kick your own hand?
I'm just no. This is the vagina.
You wanna kick
Aaron.
the
Oh,
muff?
your hand
Yeah,
is
kick
pretending to
it
be
like
the,
this, like upwards though. Like you got to get in there. You know what I mean?
Like insert your foot.
I'm sure
Maybe
that-
a little bit.
I'm sure girls do that to themselves now and then, but it's not like guys because the strongest guy can be taken to his knees with like the weakest little flick of the wrist if it's put in the right spot.
Right.
And that's the whole comedy of it to men, I think, is like if you can just suddenly drop your buddy without even having to like punch him in the face or anything.
Yeah.
There's
Which
an objective
And my
comedy.
he
question
does that
is-
all the time.
Yeah, he does.
My question is there a spot where that happens to chicks?
I don't think so. I mean,
Maybe
That's fucking bullshit. Is that like our payback for the period thing?
no, that's just
they did that to themselves when they ate the apple. For one,
overall men are bigger and stronger
Yeah.
just on general than like most of the women out there, so they had to have a little like kryptonite button that
All
they
right.
could push now and then
All
to
right.
get their point
But-
across.
That's fine. I was just curious if there was.
do you not agree? Okay, whoever believes in religion, Christianity, they ate the fucking apple when they were not supposed to. Men, we're smart. We're saying, hey, don't fucking do that. Just like we tell them to do, hey, don't do that, but they do it anyways because they don't like to listen. And she ate the apple, and God said,
I want to try and blow your mind a little bit though, because this is probably a slightly more advanced thought process than you're typically capable
well, because
of.
you fucking, I don't know.
Just hear me out,
Okay.
though. So, whatever actually, let's assume that everything mostly that's written about in the Bible actually happened for a second. Let's just pretend
Yeah.
that's the world we live in. Well, even if people had written about it at the time and like a man had eaten the apple, men ran the church for so long that they could have easily been like, that doesn't really make guys look good. Let's just change that to Eve ate the apple and
That's
There-
true.
That's
there's
a good
so
possibility.
much editing that could be done over the generations of douchebag guys who have run the Catholic Church.
Or any church.
Yeah, or any church, pretty much.
And then another concept was a guy from my work named Chris brought this up to me, right? He said the NFL is racist, and just hear me out. Every person that owns the NFL team is white, right?
Right.
Wrong.
No, I'm
The
serious.
guy
Like,
who owns the Browns isn't white.
Is he brown?
Does he actually own them? Own them?
I'm gonna look him up.
So, anyways,
Okay, yeah.
all the
continue.
white on the NFL teams, okay? Most of the NFL players are black, for one, and they do a lot of trading. They do a lot of buying for these certain type of players.
Right.
And does that fit in the same category as being slavery?
I was way wrong.
Yeah.
He's super white. He just has a very he just has a very not white sounding name.
See?
Which is
Jimmy Haslam.
that
H-A-S.
sounds pretty fucking
So-
white to me.
His last name almost looks like Islam. Maybe that's my own latent racism come into play. That doesn't look like a white last name.
So what I'm trying to say is
sorry.
legal slavery. That's what he was trying to bring up.
No, they're employees.
Yeah, that's
Which they trade
I
and
think
they
that's
buy.
way the fuck off base because they're going into it voluntarily.
You know, when he that's true. Well, if you yeah, okay, you got a point. I just thought I thought
It's true.
I just
If they get drafted, it's not the same as like to the military.
they get
like
drafted.
they don't have to show
you know,
up.
they draft by white men. They get bought by white men.
Okay.
And they
No,
get
they-
traded by white
they
I
men.
think you're
paid.
stretching it a little farther.
They get paid by white men. But that reminds me of a good quote I heard once, and it was someone describing the difference between being rich and being wealthy. He goes, being rich is being the highest paid member of your team on an NFL team. Being wealthy is being the guy who signs your paychecks.
Yeah, which is not
You know.
Antonio Brown because he's
Right.
out.
It was like Bob Kraft, who, by the way, was caught in that fucking sting op for like the massage.
Oh, the
parlor or
massage
whatever.
parlor.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
Asian
yeah.
one.
So if you're gonna take a stand against whatever Antonio Brown was accused of, maybe you want to be a little bit careful about how you approach
Now,
that.
do
if
you
you're
think
Robert Kraft.
Antonio Brown did it?
I don't even know exactly the details
I
because
don't
at
even
this
know
point,
what the fuck
I'm
you're
just,
talking about. What the fuck?
it's a football thing.
Well, yeah, I know.
A massage
I've heard of it.
therapist person that works for Antonio Brown, like that comes to massage him and shit, right? She claims that
massage
he
people do?
raped her, okay? And then he denied it, and then she came back saying, well, I have proof, and he's been texting me, like, threatening stuff to, like, stop saying shit. So then the Patriots went, "Pfft, you're done for after one game, and now he says he's not going to play in the NFL anymore.
Yeah.
So does that make you a little guilty?
Well, here's my take on it, and maybe this will give you some more context, Aaron. But like, Antonio Brown went on a Twitter rage after that happened, and he was calling people out like, "Hey, you know, the owner of the Patriots was implicated in this big sting, and then you know, there's all these other guys in positions of power, or like Ben Roethlisberger, guys who have had rape allegations
Right.
thrown at them.
Yeah.
They all still have their jobs. You know, this seems pretty unfair." Which, when I first read that, had some merit. And then I just scrolled down a little bit further and saw some of the replies, and the one that got me was this Twitter guy who was like, you know, you're still not seeing that you did anything wrong here.
Yeah.
You know, you haven't admitted any you know, responsibility for any of this shit. So, like, maybe you're focusing on the wrong part of this story,
You
dude.
think?
Yeah. You know? Fuck you, Nick.
Yeah.
Did you feel better about yourself?
Why?
I don't know. You got that out of your system?
Talking about Antonio Brown?
The whole Twitter feed thing? Yeah. Okay. Just kidding.
I'll do it again.
I
if
haven't
you
done
want me
this
to.
in a while, dude. I'm just, you know, I'm trying to get back into it. You know what I mean?
So, Aaron, what's
Like,
going on, man?
You look like a,
Are we
I don't
doing
know.
this again?
You look like a
You look like a
teenager
terrorist.
that got their first job at Zoomies today.
What?
We've been on this kind of like childish insult kick for a little while.
Yeah.
Okay.
With young Mikhail Gorbachev over here. And
And then you look like the guy that works at Hot Topic with Down syndrome.
Wow. All right. I feel so welcome on this show.
You know, it's just a comedy show. We just try to make each other laugh, touch each other's dicks under the table. And,
Nick's
yeah.
just the idiot kid who happened to grow up in the same town as Tom DeLong and has like similar features, so he always tells people that he's like his cousin, but he's really not.
Right.
Like, yeah, Jim, Tom's cousin.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't our teeth look the same?
Squirrel. Fucking, can you believe you got divorced, man?
Who?
Tom, bro. Tom DeLong.
I guess.
I didn't even know he was fucking
I
married.
sent you the link. I don't.
You sent who the link?
I sent Jesse. the
Oh,
link.
okay.
But anyways, it said Tom filed divorce, which I don't really think.
Oh,
I
yeah,
I just
okay. I
think his
remember reading
wife wants a divorce because he is kind of crazy a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
Like a lot of people think he's crazy, so I'm sure his wife went into that category.
you're segueing into one of the main topics I wanted to talk about today.
Well, that's
though.
why I did it, because I read your mind. dude.
Yeah, that
Just-
Navy video. So some of the stuff that To the Stars Academy has released has already been officially verified, basically, by the military.
Right.
And they've told everybody, like, he wasn't supposed to leak this shit, but it's true.
Yeah,
They
the
have, like,
Navy
whole
was
paper
bitching about
trail.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole, what do they call it? Like the chain of custody for it and all that
Yeah.
shit. So it's all this real shit. And now so many people who were thinking he was crazy, a year ago on the Joe Rogan podcast are now like, is this dude actually right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about that?
I'm so torn on that because for the longest time I was like, no, that's fucking bullshit. That shit doesn't exist. It's like, oh, fuck, it just got acknowledged. But it's still just kind of them going, well, we don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
It could
Well,
be
the Navy,
Nick's
according
mom's
to the
dildo.
news article, the Navy that said, yeah, this is real. It should have been out there for people to see. We don't know how this happened. But who's to say it's not just some bullshit the news is reporting? You know what I mean?
Because it's been also reported by, Tom.
Well, yeah, but I feel like Tom's talking to the guys that, like, don't work for the government anymore, right? They're not in the
Right.
government. They're, like, retired. So who's to say
Right.
they're just not telling him bullshit?
Because he has connections to people still in the government also. I don't know if they can technically be his employees, like some of his, like, the former CIA guy he's got or whatever it is. But, like, there's people that are backing this shit up. And the news, despite Trump's, trumpeting about this shit, they're not going to make up that the Army verified one of those videos either, are they?
I wouldn't believe so. I'm just saying, the news always has a way of making you believe shit that it's not, like this whole vaping thing, right?
Yeah.
Don't vape, you're gonna die.
Well, we should come to that one, but what I want to know is this. So, whatever you think of the videos or anything like that, if you had been given access to these videos, can you maybe understand why Tom has behaved the way he has lately for some of it, just by what you've seen that he's released?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you believe in aliens? No, you don't.
No.
You don't.
No,
Okay.
no.
What do
Okay.
you believe in?
Nothing.
Science.
Science.
You believe in science.
There's a buttload of scientists who believe in aliens, by the way.
Sweet.
I mean, it's almost universally acknowledged that we're not alone out there. Almost.
Yeah, it's like Pixar didn't happen.
Like the cartoons? What? Pixar?
Pix or it didn't happen.
No.
Fuck is wrong?
It sounded like he said Pixar, right? Now, to me, Pixar is like
I
Shrek,
do this with him every week.
Toy Story,
That's why we skipped a week.
Aaron's balls in his mouth.
Those are great cartoon characters.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so carry on again. Sorry for interrupting.
I forgot where we were. So.
No. So I want to get back to. So there's nothing, quote unquote, supernatural or unexplained that you believe in.
No.
Nothing.
Goats?
No.
Demons.
Goats? No.
I said
At all. Believe in
goats.
goats?
I don't believe in goats. I think
You're a bad boy.
They're a government conspiracy.
do you believe in giant squid? Like,
Well, yeah, because they've caught them.
okay.
And dinosaurs.
Yeah,
You good with
dinosaurs?
those?
They caught those too.
Well, we don't have pictures, so.
I mean, Jurassic Park
got bones.
isn't real. It's not a documentary.
Jurassic Park wasn't real.
It's not a documentary.
No.
Thanks for ruining my life.
Now, if there really was a Jurassic, if there was a real Jurassic Park, would you guys go visit it?
Yes.
I know I would too. I know it would be.
I would have to. Oh, and that also brings up. So they're putting a space station out that will be a tourist
Like a
destination in
hotel
space
type thing, right?
by 2025.
Which is $1 million to get there.
Now, even if it is, are you guys? Would you ever go to that?
Okay, I'd
be scared,
I have
too.
such a conflict with this because it's space. That's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Right.
But the other part is the fact that I'm terrified of heights and terrified of flying. So that might be a hard pass for me.
Well, I don't think it really counts as heights when you're not on Earth anymore. Like
There's
when you're
nothing
in
underneath
space,
you. It's fucking heights, dude.
but you won't fall.
It's kind of like
Doesn't
flying.
matter.
It's the concept of flying. You don't know if you're really going to come back. You know what I mean?
I can
like,
understand
especially
fear of
landing.
flying because you're still in the Earth's gravity, but if you're in space, there's no falling.
Yeah, but also, if one thing goes wrong in space, you die.
That's where I come in, and I'm with you because I'm way too claustrophobic, but I would really, really want to go to space.
Like, you might survive a plane crash. Might. Like,
Travis
1 in a
Barker.
million odds. Yeah. Okay, Travis.
I don't know if it was really
Must be
considered a
Blink-182,
crash.
but
I don't know, but
you know what I mean. Like, you could do a water landing or some shit like that.
Waterboarding?
Yeah, that too.
That's always
But
fun.
if, like, you know, you lose cabin pressure in space, the oxygen mass doesn't come down. You just
blow
die.
up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean they have to have some form of safeguards in place to protect against that, or else it would be very irresponsible.
How do you safeguard against that? I think it's pretty much you sign the waiver, bro. If you die, you die.
Yeah, have you seen Apollo 13, dude?
Yeah, but those were fucking highly skilled astronauts and pilots and engineers, and I mean those guys were basically
Tom Hanks was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Kevin Bacon, they had to get like doctorates and space stuff. And no, but like every astronaut on like the Apollo missions and shit, they were not only world class like fighter pilots and test pilots, they were engineers. They had to be able to do anything that needed to be done up there. That's not the case.
Well, and they
anymore
also
with
had
this shit.
everybody on the ground at NASA like working problems as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But like
Houston.
up at a space station where there's a bunch of families and there's also going to be like employees for the Cinnabar, you know,
Right,
or whatever.
yeah.
That's crazy.
You know, there'll be a McDonald's up there. There'll be someone who's
Chick-fil-A.
literally working at the counter at a McDonald's in fucking space.
Yeah.
Which I think by definition would make them the best McDonald's employee.
probably.
But like, you know, there would have to be a buttload of unskilled people up there too, so they'd have to think of extra
Is it
ways
supposed to be
protect them.
done by 2025 or
Yeah.
just like the project starting by 2025?
As far as I could tell from the articles, they're saying that it should be done by then.
wow.
That's crazy because they have to
Yeah.
go up there and like build all this shit and
Shit, that's really close.
and this will
Right?
prove to all the people that say we didn't really land on the moon either, or the flat earther people.
Right.
oh, they're my favorite.
I know.
Fucking idiots. But isn't it going to be great that we're going to have a space station you could visit before
Dude.
Trump ever finishes this wall?
You could totally,
yeah.
you could fucking totally go up there and have sex on the moon.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the other thing. So you've got this space station up there. Are they going to leave it zero gravity, or are they going to put some kind of a gyroscopic feature to it to try and duplicate gravity?
Or you can turn it off and on if you want. I would have loved that as an experience.
Right.
But, yeah.
Suddenly
I would
go
love it
weightless.
if you were just sitting there in zero gravity and I could come in a room and flick a switch and you just fall straight to the fucking floor.
See, that'd be fun too. That'd be fun.
I would go for that.
Nick's literally asleep, like full 360,
Yeah.
just floating in the air, and Aaron just comes in.
Okay, well they probably won't do that because you know
I
might
would
chip
go.
your rabbit
lawsuit
teeth.
issues.
So would you visit it, Nick?
I would want to visit it.
Okay, let me put it to you guys this way. If
Okay.
you didn't have to pay for it, would you go?
Yes.
You would.
Yep.
Even
Sure.
with all your fears, you would do
Why
it.
not?
Yeah, I would just get some Xanax or something and then get knocked
I
out.
think I need more than Xanax.
Yeah, something.
Can you imagine the kind of NSA lines there would be to go to space?
NSA?
Or yeah,
TSA,
yeah.
you mean?
TSA. TNA.
NSA
Yeah,
is the
TSA.
National Sex Association. You got it mixed up.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. Hate to break it to you, but
Well, that's kind of how it feels when you go through TSA and you get randomly selected.
yeah. How do you think that works? Randomly?
Like,
Randomly.
I get it that you might need to use 2 fingers, but why do they always have to like lick them first?
Because it's your face.
I get
They love your
randomly
face.
selected every time because of my insulin pump.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting you're a dying diabetic. Totally forgot.
Explain your pump a little bit, the system that you've got going.
It's like heroin, but insulin.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. No, it's like a little tiny like IV pump. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's just a little tiny IV pump is basically what it is. It
But,
gives me insulin.
Like it's able to help you regulate it in some ways. Like, does it time some of the injections or anything? Or?
so
So you only need it when your sugar is low or high.
no.
High.
No,
Yeah,
I have to have it constantly to maintain. Well, and everybody does, but your body produces.
Well, because
insulin
like I know
naturally.
you're like, oh, my fucking blood sugar's too high. So does it work extra?
Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
you need to
okay.
inject
Yeah,
more.
that's when you need to tell it to give you more.
But the pump's supposed to somewhat regulate that on its own, right?
Not on its own. If I have a sensor in, then yes, because it will monitor the blood sugar. It'll monitor my blood sugar.
Yeah.
From that sensor, and then it will, adjust accordingly. But I don't have a sensor in, mostly because my dog chewed up the transmitter.
Oh.
Which dog? The new one or old puppy? The puppy.
Yeah.
So what's the benefits to going with a pump style if it's not doing the constant regulation over just simple injections?
Because you can also do things like, if you're eating like pizza or something like that, where the carbs don't break down right away and it takes time, you can take the insulin over a longer period of time, so you're not just slamming it all at once, basically.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then also you when you first get it, you set it up so that you tell it your carb ratio to like how much insulin you're going to take for how many carbs.
Yeah.
And then all you got to do is just tell it the amount of carbs that you're about to eat, and it will dose the proper amount of insulin.
Now, has this recently like been a thing, or is it kind of new?
No, they've been out for a while.
Do you
They're getting
do you
more and
prefer
more
this
advanced.
instead of like just having to shoot a heroin needle in you all the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit, I just had a question. I'm kind of... okay. So let's say that you were good about managing your diabetes, which anyone
Right,
who
we
knows
all
you
know
know
that's
that
fictional.
you're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Blizzard.
Ooh, I want
So
a Blizzard.
let's say that you could perfectly eat the diet that they recommend for your type of diabetes. Would the pump basically ensure that you never spiked or dropped, or would it still sometimes fluctuate?
No, you'd still
outside
have
of that?
ups and downs because there's a lot of different factors that affect your blood sugar as well, like stress. What was I gonna say? Oh, if you're sick, that really, really fucks it up.
Like low or
Like
high?
flu?
Like high. Yeah.
Like your blood sugar will just suddenly skyrocket?
yeah,
somehow?
it'll spike just because you looked at it funny.
So, but I'm wondering, like, if you're not putting anything in that would cause it, is it like how it absorbs the fat or something? That's doing
Yeah,
that?
it's just pulling from wherever it can.
Wow.
Now let's say you had some weird emergency, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're driving out in the middle of nowhere and you're fucking stranded and lost out in the woods. Does that mean you're probably gonna die?
If I run out of insulin,
Well, just like not having like sugar or like food, or you have to like try to find
You mean
shit
like
to eat.
anybody else?
Yeah.
I think we would all die with
Well, I know. I'm just saying we would have longer time than him if his blood sugar's low.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, we would anyway because he's kind of a bitch. But
Capital B.
no, but I mean, yeah, it definitely makes it more. And like sometimes, even if we're at band practice or something, if that extra motion seems to really be able
Yeah,
to mess
physical
with it.
activity will lower your blood sugar.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and also your blood sugar will be affected by how hydrated you are.
Yeah.
So you have to drink a lot of water instead of those Diet Cokes and Pepsis and soda.
You know, before he was diagnosed, because you were diagnosed when you were, what, 24?
24, yeah.
24. So before that, I knew him for a good 3 or 4 years before that. And he would always drink regular sodas, like
Mountain
he drinks
Dew
the
and-
diet ones now. And then I remember, he was sick for like 2 weeks or so. And, I was always checking on him and stuff, but they just didn't know what was wrong. And then he finally told me about the diagnosis, and I was just like, what the fuck are you going to drink now? And it took him a while to adjust to the diet.
Oh, man,
but-
yeah. At first I thought Diet Pop was just the most disgusting fucking thing on the face of the planet, which, I mean, it probably is, but
Yeah,
I'm
it
so
is.
used to it now that drinking regular pop tastes really weird.
You know what else is really weird?
Your squirrel teeth.
Sensitive about that.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
You should never have
Hey,
given
I
me
have to
that
have a
little
fucking
piece
root
of
canal
ammo.
tomorrow, okay?
You do? Those
Yeah.
are so fun.
No.
I know they suck.
I've never had one, but
You've never had one?
No.
It's going to be weird because they're going to be digging in your tooth and you can feel it. And then they're going to have to dig
Stop,
the root out.
stop,
and then
stop,
you feel
stop.
that slight little...
Dude, as you're describing it,
I
my
know.
body's having like ghost pains from those.
Dude, I'm already terrified of the dentist as it is.
Okay, well, be terrified of this because this is our douche of the week segment. Okay?
Okay, all right.
So,
What a segue.
so this is my douche of the week today. He's a he's not newly, he's a mumble rapper. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I know where you're going with
And
this.
he's just a douchebag all around.
Yep.
And probably I'll give it till the end of this year, he's going to be murdered. Okay.
If that,
wow.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And this is Tekashi 6ix9ine. As you can see, he looks like a little bitch, for one.
I've seen that guy before, and
Yeah.
So,
face tattoos, weird
yeah,
colored
yeah.
hair.
he's gonna go down as the biggest snitch of the century.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's snitching on rappers, any types of Bloods, Crips, just to save his own ass. And
There's already memes of him like trying to rat out people for like, completely unrelated things.
yeah, I don't know what he's thinking, especially in that type of like game he's in.
Yeah. And no matter what, he's going to spend some time in prison. And once he's there, he's the worst kind of person for them. Rats, they'll take down before sex offenders even. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't like his. Well, I don't like him at all. I just
Don't
like
you.
like I'm just gonna feel bad just a little bit because he's done for.
All
I
right,
don't.
now-
Witness protection, like nothing's gonna work.
I got to ask you this. Would you be saying the same thing if Tom DeLong went to jail and he ratted on people?
Whoa.
Because you started here with Tekashi. Like, you already didn't like him.
Yeah,
You've got people you might like up here, and then
yeah.
Tom way,
He's like
way up
he's
here.
up there.
So, like, if he did this, how far would he fall
Okay.
on your scale?
let me
like, how-
let me tell you guys something.
How
okay?
much is I want to know
I
how
know.
much the ratting is the issue here.
I've hung around in the streets. Okay, I've had my fair share of hanging out with people in the streets, ghetto, sketchy fucking people. The
You sound like it.
number one rule, bro,
Bro.
is never snitch no matter what. So if it was Tom, I would just not have to like him because you can't do that. It's like the bro code. You can't break it. You
No,
can't
you
snitch
would
on
actually
people.
literally have to stab him, Nick.
Yeah,
You
I
have
would.
to kill him.
I would have to shank him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, that at least tells me
I don't
that
think
you're
you
being.
can do it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like.
Look at him.
You have to. You can't snitch. You can never snitch.
Yeah, I was wondering how much. Of this,
Snitches end up in ditches.
right. I was wondering how much of this nomination of your douche of the week was just because it's Tekashi.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's actually mostly what he did, so I'll give you this one. That's valid.
Like, even if I was on trial for murder and I, wasn't, and I didn't do it, I can't. You can't snitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it was like Jesse murdered someone, but Nick did it, I'm not gonna be like, oh, Jesse's the one that fucking did it.
If they
You
were
know what
gonna
I mean?
like put you down, I would hope that you would snitch. Like, you're allowed to snitch if it's the only way to potentially
I like how
save
you
your own
refer to it
life.
as put him down.
Yeah,
You're gonna put me down, dude?
You
Yeah.
gotta go
Put
the way
me
of
down?
Old Yeller.
Yeah, first we got to get him neutered.
Right? Then we
we're
take
good.
him out back and shoot him in the face with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys agree with the bro code though? Right? I don't know your
Which part
guys'
of it?
relationship.
Which part of it?
Like saying, you went out with someone for so long and you guys broke up. Jesse can't go and bone her now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've always followed that rule. Like, I agree with that rule. You can never
It
bone.
depends. It depends on the extent of the relationship.
Maybe. Well, maybe if you talk, like,
If you went out
can
with
I
a girl for
bone your ex, dude? And he was like, no. Okay, I'm not going
If
to.
you went out with a girl for like 2 weeks and then it just didn't work out or whatever, I would consider that fair game.
Yeah, I agree with that. But like
Unless you
long-term
were in love with her or
relationships,
something.
like
yeah.
Yeah.
fucking no.
It's like there's always like codes that always seem to get broken and it like bums me out. You know what I mean? Because I don't break them. Okay. Now when someone else breaks them, then I want to break their legs. Okay.
Wow.
He's Mr. Angsty over here
Yeah.
today.
Now let's get into your douche of the
Feeling
week, shall we?
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, mine. I tend to get my douches of the week from people that like actively kind of revolt me a little bit.
Are you gonna read it?
I'll read it. Yeah.
Okay, you read it.
So, Orlando police arrested a 6-year-old black girl for throwing a tantrum in her first grade class. The cops handcuffed her, put her in the back of a police car, and took her to a juvenile detention facility where they fingerprinted her and took a mugshot.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me racism's dead.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I mean, obviously it's in Florida. Obviously.
well, yeah, it has to be.
Why is it always Florida? I'd be so pissed as a
been there?
parent.
Well,
No, but
So Florida is not only a hub for like a bunch of Latino immigrants, but it's also where all the white people on the northern East Coast go to retire and die.
yeah, it's
So
like,
there's just a weird mix of cultures and people there, you know?
like Cletus, go get
Yeah.
my shotgun. Play with my belly button. What state is like that on the West Coast?
Arizona.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It-
I would.
the
agree.
news stories aren't as crazy, but it's definitely where all of our old white people go to retire.
Yeah, that's for sure.
My parents just moved there. This
Now,
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with this douche of the week, do you think the parents have? Do you think they'll like sue
I kind of hope they do, because this might
Yeah,
be one
no
of the
shit.
first times they have a real legal leg to stand on in one of these cases. You know, if it's he said, she said stuff with, you know, police brutality or whatever, there's easy ways that they can find loopholes to kind of keep that in gray areas and avoid, you know, punitive measures. But when you actually take a little 6-year-old girl in and fingerprint her and mugshot her,
Yeah, what the
for
fuck?
that, like, you have now put this completely on the books, and everything that you did in that situation is now totally reviewable, and we need to, like, punish these guys, because that is fucking ridiculous.
That is.
That is
There is
ridiculous.
no reason even a 6-year-old kid who, like, somehow kills someone
Now-
probably had no idea they were about to do that.
Probably not.
Now,
Yeah.
is this a miscommunication? Just a theory that maybe it was the parents' idea to be like, oh, fucked up parents be like, hey, teach this kid a lesson for throwing a tantrum, and
The
Very
first thing that
doubtful.
the news stories that covered this would have done is find out the answer to that
Yeah.
question. Because, like, you've seen stuff like that
yeah,
before.
definitely.
I'm just making sure you didn't get this from like The Onion or something. You
No,
know what I mean? Or-
all of my douches of the week so far, except for the football-related ones, have come from Reddit. And just in the service of trying to give them their props, this Reddit user was 42 words.
Oh,
That's
okay.
their name,
All
I
right.
guess. But so that's my douchebag of the week. It's kind of the entire Orlando Police Department for that one.
Now, would you
Yeah,
still
pretty
go to
Yeah,
Orlando Disneyland?
I've never been.
I know, I've never
been there.
You've
You
been
have?
to that one?
Yeah.
Have you been to the California one too?
Yeah.
How do they stack up?
Do you remember?
They're pretty different. Well, the Disney World I went to as an adult, weirdly.
Oh yeah, with your family, like
No.
a decade ago.
No, I went with my dad.
Oh,
That's what we did.
Nine Toes?
The diving convention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were at the trade show, and then one of my friends had given us tickets for Disney World because she used to work there. So, yeah, I went as a adult 24-year-old
Did
with my
you
dad. It
did
was
you go
weird.
on any of the rides?
We went on this one at Epcot. We went on the like moonshot simulator thing.
Yeah.
And that thing was so fucking intense. It fucked my dad's neck up really bad.
So it gives you like the gravity forces.
Yeah, it gives you the G's and all that. Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
So what is that supposed to simulate? Like an actual like rocket launch?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Hey, it's a good way to prep people to go up to space and go hang
Yep,
out up
there
in
you
the
go.
moon.
Just go to Disney
Yeah.
World.
Huh.
Fuck, I
Hey.
want to try that.
I want real serious talk.
Oh,
Okay.
no, he closed his laptop.
Would you guys
It's because he couldn't figure out how to turn it on.
would you guys try the new $10,000 so sex robot that they have out now?
Well, I don't like the word "try" in that context because that implies some sort of a passing of
Right,
at some
yeah,
point.
it kind of does.
I think sex robots are like underwear.
Hey, can I try that when you're done with it?
They should only have one owner.
Yeah.
Would you buy one?
No.
No.
Okay, now that's what I said. Would you try it at least? If it was brand new.
So like if we didn't have to pay for one,
Yeah,
No.
I would do it.
I think that I would purely for like this show. I think that I would try it, but I don't think I could actually get into it. Like I'm already learning in my mid-30s that
Well,
sometimes
isn't
I
that how
can't.
you try it? You got to get into it.
Well, this comedian Whitney Cummings bought one, right?
Okay.
Just to add for her like tour.
A girl
She-
one?
Yeah, like of herself. Like she had them made one that looked exactly like her. 'Cause
Weird.
She's rich. So like these she has these like other comedians come in and like interview her and like talk to her. And she talks like a real fucking person and you ask her questions. It's weird.
That's
and,
fucking creepy.
And I would totally trade that out for a girlfriend because then you could just keep her in the bedroom and you don't have to deal with anything. And then if you like really have an argument, you can just slap her around a little bit, put her back in the bed, call it good.
You see, when he's not doing so well on the racism, he jumps right into chauvinism.
Right, yeah.
So wait, you think that somehow you could have an argument with it?
Yeah, you could.
Isn't the whole point of them to be like subservient?
I think the whole point is to actually make it really feel like it's a real girl, but it's not in a way. For like losers like you, that can't get like dimey dimes, you know what I mean? Like tens. You can make one and she'll be like almost real. You know what I mean? And then you'd be like, oh, can I put it in your butt? And like those other chicks that you asked, they'd be like, no, Jesse, stop it. This one would be like, yes, I would like that very much, Jesse. That's the whole point of this.
And then
Okay.
I'd be like, well, I don't know what to do with the yes. What do I do with this chloroform?
I mean, I guess you can still use it.
On myself.
Yeah.
Just wake up in a puddle of shame next to this robot, and for some reason the robot is smoking. And...
Yeah.
I've known Aaron, I don't know, 6 years, 7?
It's longer than that.
Maybe longer.
No, it's right around 6
His
years.
sexual being, it's like so in the closet. Like none of us really
what?
know. Like he could be like the most like kinkiest person behind the walls, and you don't even know.
Out
You know
of
what
us
I mean?
three here, I'm fairly confident he is.
I know, and it's so weird because
Why do you think that?
Well, because I mean, you've
Is that like butt sex?
Well, I mean, that's
that's one.
With girls.
up there.
With
Yeah,
girls.
yeah, okay, good to clarify that. Yeah, on this
But-
show, yeah.
But I know that that's also like it's not even an optional thing for you and a woman. It's pretty much a prerequisite. So that no longer counts as just that's something I enjoy. This is something that he
It's a
rules
requirement.
people out over the dating process with, And so I mean, if that's your
I'm not gonna argue
baseline,
with that.
and that's something that just like occasionally I've done, then I feel like I'm not even in competition. And Nick, I mean,
Here
I
it
don't really
comes.
consider being gay that weird in 2019.
it's
so
not.
like,
It's
yeah,
not.
I know, dude.
he's
It's
normal too.
It's like it's a new thing this year, right? You could
Gay
be
is the new straight.
no, gay is the new transgender. You know what I mean? You could be anybody who you want. Oh, speaking of guys, I registered to vote this year. Okay.
I thought you were talking about being a transgender.
And I was gonna go
No.
into a different direction.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
I've registered to vote to be a member of society. Okay. I'm starting a new leave here. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote, but
That's
it
terrifying.
had sex. It had male, female, or other. I decided to chose other just because it was there, and I thought it was funny. Now into your segue.
I was just gonna bring up. I read this. I've read a couple articles recently since that last Dave Chappelle stand-up special went out, and there's obviously a lot of people that are like kind of
Bummed
angry
out
with him
about
over it or saying that he's canceled. But like for number one,
He's
no
not.
one will ever be able to cancel Dave Chappelle. He is just too powerful of a voice. He's too good at what he does. And number two, he was fucking joking. I mean, nothing he says in there I felt sounded particularly bad in the first place, but I think that we've hit that point where the too sensitive people have pushed so far and like eliminated shit that we can joke about that we're now getting a swing back from people who aren't just Trump loving racists or whatever, like people like Dave Chappelle are starting to fight for the ability to make jokes about shit and talk about shit.
Yeah.
Now, if Dave Chappelle came out like if he was new this year,
Yeah.
he wouldn't be doing it.
No,
anymore.
that special
No.
would have been
Yeah.
buried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a guy who's he's a master, and like,
He's so damn good at it.
yeah. And when he jokes about stuff, it's a joke. So I don't think it's bad that he's putting some of that shit out there. If anything, I think it's actually good because it normalizes the subject matter. When you can joke about shit, it's no longer a taboo,
Like
Right.
when that joke was like, well, if I was a pedophile,
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin thing, I was like, whoa, but it's funny because it's coming from Dave Chappelle and we all know he's joking.
Right. Right.
I
And it's
wish I could just hang
anytime
out
there's
with him for a day.
hypothetical and a joke, it's almost like comedians for the last couple of years have had to remind people, like, by the way, remember, this is impossible because this isn't how things are.
Like the comedians say it's a real tough time for comedians anymore.
It's a
Right,
tough
right.
time for struggling comedians. I think the people who are already famous are just kind of widening the gap right now.
Did you hear the story about I don't know what his name is, but he recently got hired for Saturday Night Live, but then he got fired because in one of his past podcasts, he was describing a situation at a Chinese restaurant, and he was like just describing it, and he said chinky, right? But not in a funny way, but because someone brought that up, and it was like, oh, he's racist because he
Yeah.
said chinky, and I'm like, well, I've said cheeky on here so many fucking times. They fired
All this
him.
time
They-
I thought you were saying cheeky.
No, I was saying like cheeky.
Did we spell the sign wrong?
They fired him. Saturday Night Live is like, oh, we can't do this anymore. They fired him. And
I don't agree with that at all.
I don't either.
Nah.
It's fucked up.
So,
But
so
Jesse's not going to
But people brought up the point, would it be different if he said the N-bomb? Would it sound racist if he said the N-word?
what color
Yeah.
is he?
He's white.
Then yes.
So they're making the difference. Then what's the difference between saying chinky, chink, then the N word. I'm not gonna say that word because I just can't do it.
Well, for one thing, I don't think chink would be the Asian equivalent of the N word because I don't think there is one. I think that if we're gonna talk about the semantics of like how like offensive a term is, I think chinky is like probably right around more in the wetback for a Mexican realm, which is still not.
It's a funny
word.
It's a funny. It's a funny word though.
It's a funny word, but like sometimes you have to make a concession to make someone else, you know, not feel persecuted in a way. I guess there's lines I'm willing to draw, but you can't ever say that. I don't think there'll ever be a racial word worse than the N word. I think that we're past the point.
No, I don't think there will be.
Exactly.
Now, do you think spick is right underneath the N word? I think that's kind of worse than a wetback.
You think that's worse than that?
Yeah, well, like spick.
I do.
Like, yeah. It's like
We're fitting a lot of really bad words into this section.
We are.
But I mean, we're trying to talk about it clinically a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Now
No, I
there's-
think spick is a lot worse of a term than wetback is.
I would have totally thought the opposite.
Really?
Yeah. Because spick, it sounds more like
it
a
sounds
descriptive
offensive.
term.
I don't know.
It does. It just sounds fucking harsh.
It does sound harsh. I can give you that. But wetback just seems like you're almost dehumanizing the person you're saying it about. Like,
Yeah.
like it sounds more like a name for a type of animal or something, you know? So to me, that's always been the vice versa. But we all grew up in a time when a lot of that shit was, you were allowed to say it even on TV, you know?
Yeah.
We have come a long way in that. And yeah, I hope that things are getting better.
We're
but-
from the time where Michael Jackson went from an N-word to a cracker. Now that's a miracle.
to a kid toucher.
Yeah, to a kid.
To a corpse.
Yeah, to a party planner with kids.
And now he's a potted plant.
Yeah. He's a skeleton.
Bring.
Like that shirt you're wearing. Yeah. Man, I miss this, man.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing this is our last episode ever.
Ever. Fuck you guys. We're starting our own baking podcast now. We talked about this.
Ooh, I'd watch that.
I
Now,
know.
Aaron, I want you to help me
Help
talk
you.
to Nick a little bit about the new Blink record.
No, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
we
do
can do
this.
that.
Okay.
And I want us both to give him the ability to say his piece on it, but you and
I
I
can do
definitely
that.
are more aligned on this one.
Yes.
And so you heard it before I did, and I want to know like your very first impressions of it.
Very first impression.
It's like taking another person. It's like taking Michael Jackson out of Michael Jackson and putting in a white person in there. It's not the same.
What's up with
Okay.
all the Michael Jackson references
Because it was
today?
the only one I could make that makes sense. Okay.
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 All right.
Now debate's done. You just can't do it. You can't do that
Wow, I guess that's it
using
then.
the same name.
I didn't want to talk about the merits of calling themselves Blink-182. I wanted to talk specifically about the new record.
Okay, if they change the name, maybe I'd get into it. But they can't keep using the same name with that fucking dude in there. Okay.
He has a name. His name is Matt Skiba, and he is amazing. Well, and
So your issue isn't necessarily with their music, but the fact that they're still going by Blink-182.
And I asked him, and he said that he wouldn't even like it if, when Tom wanted to come back, if they were all together. But I
Yeah.
think that would be like a super group.
I don't know how that would work.
I mean, they have multi guitars on their records all the time. Why
yeah.
couldn't Tom and
Because
Matt just
their
kinda share
their
it.
guitar playing just wouldn't mix. Because he can't play Tom's shit. Tom could probably play his shit because he's really good. But
Pretty sure he plays it every night on tour.
yeah, and at this point, he's been in the band for years. You know, like what, 3 years, maybe longer. California
Yeah.
came out when I was still living in Oregon.
yeah, it's just the fact that like he plays like, you know, Aliens Exist or just all Tom song or Voyager.
They're not Tom songs, they're Blink songs, and he's in Blink-182 now,
But
whether
Tom's
you like it or
voice
not.
is the one that like made that song complete, though. You know what I mean?
He's gonna
It's
start crying. isn't
I
he?
am gonna cry.
No, but I want Aaron to give me his thoughts on the record because I've shared a little bit, but I want to hear what you thought when you first
Okay,
listened.
using
Yeah,
the same
you can
name
talk the
issue
record, yeah.
aside. Okay.
Yeah.
No, and I put it on, and right from the first song, I was like, oh, fuck. I didn't know that I needed to hear this record, but
Yeah.
I do. and like you keep going down the line, and there's no song that you want to skip.
That's absolutely
Yeah.
true in my experience.
It's a lot darker than their usual stuff. Like,
It's because Skiba's in it.
yeah, than their usual stuff. Like lyrically, but I don't think the music is any darker than it was on California.
No, I mean it's a little bit slower overall. It feels they have a couple
Yeah.
of fast tunes, but overall it's slower. But what I liked about it is that when I started listening to it, I heard some of the even like more slow and emo songs like Black Rain and On Some Emo Shit first. And it sounds like this version of Blink-182's version of their self-titled record.
Yeah,
Which was,
yeah.
Super emo. I Miss You was on there. All these really great songs that really got Blink to the next level with
Nick's
Tom.
eyes welling up with tears.
I'm trying to be
He's
nice.
batting his eyelashes
Because-
thinking about Tom.
Yeah, as much as I love Enema and all those, the original Blink self-titled record was always my favorite because it was their best as musicians, I thought. And then Neighborhoods, I still like for other reasons and all that. But with Skiba now in California, that was a fun record. This one is a more mature record. And it doesn't sound like a guy from Alkaline Trio playing with a guy from Blink.
Right.
They're writing in a new way that is just, there's jazz on there, there's electronic stuff. It's so mature for these guys. Like, I hope you just listen to it for what it is and not...
I tried. I already tried.
No, you said you listened to like part of one song.
Yeah. And then like I heard Skiba's voice and I was like, yeah, I'm out.
So let me. Do you like Alkaline Trio?
Yeah. Because that's his own deal, okay? Now, when you try to mix Blink-182 and say, oh, we made this new album, it just doesn't make sense to me, okay? I've grown up a Blink-182 fan. I've grown up a Tom DeLonge fan. You can't do that. You just can't, okay? You can't do it.
Would you care as much if it
You
was...
can't take Mariah Carey out, put Britney Spears in there, and say it's Mariah Carey.
I'd rather have
okay?
Britney Spears.
I'm just...
Okay, so what about this? What if when this all happened, it was Mark who left and Tom was still in Blink, but there was no Mark? Would you be this upset about it?
Probably not.
So it
Here
has
we
nothing
go.
to do with Blink. It's
No,
all
it's
Tom.
because of his crush on Tom. That's all there is to it.
Well, and I mean, I love what Tom's doing in Angels and Airwaves now too.
Like, I think Angels and Airwaves do shit's way better than Blink stuff.
So does my brother Jared. Well, not
He
better
only
than new.
thinks it's better because it's Tom.
He, yeah, I know Nick does.
I
Yeah.
think Tom writes better songs, okay? Despite my man crushness. He experience what's the fucking word again? Hold on. Experiments more with different types of sounds and
What, like
usage
gum?
of
Experiment gum?
yeah. Experience more with like different pedals and different sounds and delays, and these guys over here just trying to write dark lyrics apparently.
Well, that's kind of how it was on California, but the music in this one is different. It's not like that. They are using more effects and stuff, but the overall tone is mostly the same.
right.
And Travis is a master of his craft.
I know. I wish I could hear those drums, man, but
I'm going to make you.
you're gonna tie me down.
Yep.
Put a
Tie you down
headphone-
and make you listen, and I'll leave you in the room for like 30 straight hours until by the time I go and get you, you're like, I don't care about Tom anymore. Blink-182 is Matt Skiba. Blink-182 is Matt Skiba.
Do you think Blink-182 will ever have a rap artist tour with them again?
Probably not.
Yeah. That like Lil Wayne, he's just full of himself, dude. I don't know. I don't know who he thinks he is. Like, I've liked his raps,
Well, he doesn't
but
think he's Big Wayne, apparently.
I don't know, dude. Just cancel shows and cancel the tour. And
Do you want to mention my little idea that I had for a future episode, possibly?
Fitbit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to tell him?
Well,
Why are you telling me?
I have told you.
You
I
have?
told you at Adrian's birthday party.
The Mystery Science Theater idea?
Yeah. So we're going to make use of our setup here, and we're going to bring Aaron in on this, and this might be something of it might even be a different series that we launch on the channel or something, doing like Twisted Flick kind of things. But we're going to set the camera up behind us so you can see our heads like Mystery Science Theater, and we're going to watch a movie.
Oh.
And we're going to make jokes and stuff during it, and we're going to put that out there for you guys.
What could possibly go wrong?
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool, because then we could always try different shit and just add it to the
Yeah.
You know, the cheeky
Like anal.
shenanigans. Yeah.
Well, and we could sit down and have a writing session and just watch the movie kind of on quiet and write out jokes ahead of time too.
Now, like, has Ben done any more shows, or was it just that one?
Oh yeah, Ben. He started a podcast now. He doesn't know if he wants to do it frequently or just like once every 6 months kind of thing. But like, he came over and I produced a show for him with his buddy.
Yeah.
And he was calling it the Little Ben Power Hour, and it was like 35 minutes long.
That's a good power hour.
That was due to schedule constraints. But,
Okay.
yeah, it turned out pretty well. I don't think he's released it quite yet, at least not as of the recording of this episode. But, I mean, if he wants to, yeah. And we could have other show ideas, you know? If you want to do a emo-ass mopey
If you want to
podcast
do
or
one
something.
about the Titanic or
Or diving.
Diving, you know what I mean?
Or diving at the Titanic or
Yeah.
other diving
Oh, that
places.
sounds fun.
Or guns.
Nah.
No?
Nah.
What if you could start your own show, what would it be about?
It's history, man.
Probably history, yeah. It was probably
Okay,
right.
so-
I mean, history or anal.
Now, could you do a history episode of why we lost the Alamo?
Probably.
Or how about
Okay.
an episode of the history of anal?
Or
Oh, hey. That, I feel like I need to consult with Nick's
Like
mom on.
anal
Yeah.
through the ages with Aaron.
Yeah. Perfect.
Little alliteration for you there too.
All right. Well, I will start researching tonight.
Ageless anal.
escape to the planet Anals.
Yeah, I think Mercury's in your anus right now. Like, that's not how that works. Like, no, I just broke a thermometer in your ass.
Guys want to go forage for some food?
Yeah.
Yeah. We should probably end this show then, huh?
Yeah.
It's about that time
I
anyway.
know.
Aaron, thank you so much for stepping in and being
Yeah,
our guest
just
today.
walking into this.
Yeah.
You didn't
Literally
even know. Yeah.
showed up at my door, didn't even know we were going to be recording at that moment, and I was like, hey, can you do the show with us since you're here? And he jumped right in. So
I should have drove slower.
You know, pretty soon we're gonna get like really famous, and like you small, like just random friends are just not gonna cut it anymore.
Yeah,
so
I know. I'm
might as
waiting
well
for that day.
enjoy it. You know what I
Impatiently,
mean? I
trust
know.
me.
I know.
The
yeah.
sooner I can be not friends with you, the better.
Well, that's fine. I'm getting out of here. I'm
All
going
right.
to Hollywood.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Nick's going to Hollywood.
Me and Jesse are going to Hollywood.
I never said I was
You're
going to
coming with me.
Hollywood. You're coming with me in the fucking trunk, idiot.
Well, thanks for listening.
Way to sound enthusiastic.
Sound real appreciative of your face.
No, Jesse does
I'll
this
do
little
it.
have a consensual day where he does, hey, make sure to subscribe to YouTube or Spotify.
You know, we
or-
haven't done that in
done
a while.
some-
Oh, you know
likes.
what you should always end with is make sure to pull out.
Yeah, and make sure to pull out or
That's how you avoid mistakes like this guy. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, you know, give us a subscribe or a like. If you're
Share
listening
it.
on iTunes or Spotify, please subscribe. And actually, one last thing I want to do. We did get a review on iTunes, and I wanted to give this person a shout out. If you guys take the time to review our show, we will shout you out on it. So I want to...
Even if it's a bad one.
they got a shout out?
Yeah. So
Okay, good.
this is from a
Guess who's getting a
account
bad
called
review.
Street Report Pod. This is another podcaster who listened to us. He said, great intro, outro music, fun conversations, funny hosts, and that hold your attention. It's all well mixed and leveled. Good work, fellas. So thank you.
That guy.
Where'd his name go? Street Report Pod. The other guy is a guy named Jay Trotter 2. Who doesn't enjoy some shenanigans? Fun and funny show with two friends who have some great chemistry with each other. He definitely knows we're about to fuck.
Yeah.
But thank you, Jay Trotter, too, for that one. And then we've got one more from a guy named Cody Dakota. If you want to listen to a conversation between two great friends who are going to say whatever comes to their mind, Nick, and aren't afraid to get a bit
I know,
ridiculous, Nick, then
Yeah.
you found the right show. You feel like you're in the living room during a conversation, and it's fantastic. Hope we didn't scare you on this one then. So anyway,
Yippee!
I just wanted to
Perfect.
give you guys shout outs for doing that. Thank you so much. If you do take the time to do that, let us know, or, you know, we'll read it, and we want to give you some love for, you know, showing that to us. So
Yeah.
we truly appreciate
Speaking
it.
of not love, Aaron has a sweatshirt and he doesn't even wear it.
I didn't want to get it dirty.
I know.
Aaron has the sweatshirt I was supposed to
know.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, have a homosexual day, everybody.
So thank you guys again for listening. Once again, I am Random Hero. That's Punk Ass.
That's me.
This is T-Bone.
Yeah, T-Bones. With the Z.
And please, everybody, have a consensual day.
Ah.